Welcome to the podcast, Organized Mayhem. We're coming to you from 110 South 11th Street, which is the home of Maria and the Rap Shack. And we are here to talk to you about all things Philadelphia restaurant business and everything in between. I'm Cammie, here with my brother Scott and my friend John Lupa. There we go. Welcome back to the podcast. We are Organized Mayhem. I am Cammie with John and Scott. Welcome to the Mayhem. Today, I have been put in my place and I've been told that I am not the moderator of today's podcast. I am being kicked aside and I am going to be interviewed.
That is right.
That is true.
That is correct. You set the bar very high, so I don't know how we're going to live up to that.
I don't know. Let's get going. I'm scared. What are you going to ask me?
I think I'm very excited about it.
Would you like to start?
I would like to start. Cammie, I think the first question is, how did you even get involved in this to begin with? Because it seems so like a restaurant podcast that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what drew you into this?
So one of the things, like just from my own career experience, either as a lawyer or somebody who, talks to people all day long about how they're motivated in relationships and matchmaking, I love a good conversation with people. And my brother and you guys were talking about having a podcast about the restaurant business, but knowing the two of you and how you operate, it seemed like a natural fit that you would need a babysitter or a school teacher to kind of conduct things along. So I think that's how we just started saying like, okay, let's have fun with it and let's see how it goes. And then it just felt like every time we do this, it doesn't even feel like we're working. It feels like it's the most fun thing ever.
I think the hardest part was figuring out a name.
Yes, the name
that
was tough.
That was tough. And then the music.
Oh yeah.
The original name, I agree with me.
I agree with me.
I
forgot about that.
That is the original name.
That was the original name.
So Cammie, in your everyday life, you are a relationship coach, and I find this beyond fascinating.
Yes.
I also feel like, did I tell you I quit smoking?
How are you feeling?
Terrible. Why doesn't everyone should smoke all the time?
I know. If it was good for you,
right?
Why not?
Yes. Sorry, I got off topic there, but I wanted to tell you that because I started with your don't smoke till noon, and then I just go, you know what? I'm not going to smoke again.
But now he vapes
sometimes,
and it's like
only when dealing with your brother. Yeah, like at home, I don't. Yeah,
I don't. So like, here's what this shows like at my age and being a mom. So when my kids say that they vape, I don't know the difference
We're just saying this.
between whether it's nicotine
or marijuana.
Right? I'm not saying that my kids say that they do, or like when they're talking about other kids who do. Right. Every time I ask, they look at me like I'm 100 years old, but I really don't understand it. To me, like if someone said they were vaping, I think there is another expression, but I do think they use it for both.
I think it does go both. Yeah, for both. Scott and I were just talking about that. Okay, back to you. Being a relationship coach, I have this question always bothers me. Do you
see that's why we're not organized because
that's
back on top. Now we have to get them back on top.
It's crazy.
This is gonna be
This is gonna be wild. As a relationship coach, I would feel like, do you feel pressure to have the perfect relationship every time you're in any relationship? Are you always like trying to overanalyze? Are you always thinking about how people are perceiving you? Like that's gotta be a lot of pressure.
So funny. No, I would just say it shaped my view about relationships in general, right? Like I see how easily like I could get in my own way and my partner could get in his own way. And I also see one of the biggest pitfalls of anybody in a relationship is the balance of, everyone's got stuff that's annoying. Like everybody's got stuff that's like hard for us to deal with. And to balance, okay, like what is it? And try to focus on the good. Make sure that there's like those things in the relationship that are like good and solid, and those are the things that you want. And then that person that you're with is not going to change. And can you live with that? And I think like so. I talk to a lot of different coaches in general, and even like, parenting coaches. Like you could be the greatest parenting coach and your kid could still be a pain in the ass. I think that it's, what I do see time and time again is more just like, oof, I want to make sure that I don't do what my client's doing, which is like, I can see very clearly how they're in their own way. And it gives me pause about myself more than anything else.
So it sounds like it kind of gives you like genuine perspective, I guess, that has to help in a relationship. I would think if you're always considering everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
very, very interesting.
but I think it's no different than what you guys talk about when you're at a restaurant and you can see like where things go wrong, or like, oh, I know this is happening in the kitchen. Like whenever I'm talking to anyone, even if it's for a friend, I try not to put my like linguist matchmaking hat on, and or put my linguist matchmaking hat on. Sorry about the dog barking. So I try, like I try to be helpful, to anybody who I love, like using the experience that I have. I don't know if that's a good answer, but yeah, it is hard.
Interesting. But you started as a lawyer.
I did. And I
what-
think I was really a born social worker rather than a lawyer. I did criminal defense work. I loved my clients, and I've always been fascinated by people, right? Like, so, and people and choices that they make and how they can get in and out of their own way. And, when you're a criminal defense lawyer, and I've spent a lot of time in Camden County Jail, and I wanted to know everybody's story, how they got there. I have a tendency to give people the benefit of the doubt. And, like life is interesting. It's a very sad place to be, Camden County Jail. Very, very sad. And I was just fascinated and wanted to, and I think I had a knack more than being a lawyer for getting to know someone and finding out what about them made them special, or, their redeeming qualities, and sell that.
If you could go back in time, would you still be a criminal defense and on that end of it?
No. I think I would have just become a social worker. It's a lot of stress and pressure, and to have somebody, the pressure of was really, really got to me. Like I know, there's a whole. It's too complicated to get into now, but there was lots of inequity in the system. Inequity of people who have means to people who don't have means, people who have educated, and it really like ate at my soul, right? Like,
Right.
and also because I was a woman initially, a lot of sex offenders would want to hire a female criminal defense lawyer.
That's got to be a little awkward.
And it was really very hard for me. And so like, and I do believe in everyone's right to defend, all that stuff. So it was just a really hard thing for me. And I loved what I did. And that part of me is over. And I think like even having children just like shifted the way my brain works.
Yeah. My dad was in criminal defense in Atlanta, of course. And I think he came to a realization like there's not a ton of money in it. It's like you have to pour, like you give a lot of your like soul up to these people.
Yeah.
They don't have a ton of money. And then like later in his life, he started doing like accident cases, and he was like, I should have done this my whole career.
Yeah.
It's like more profitable and easy. Yeah.
And I just was too emotionally involved. I really do. I get like, I would get to know their families, and just probably wasn't a good fit for me emotionally.
Right. Yeah. What question do you have for your sister?
Well, one, if you're looking for another job, we are hiring for servers and bartenders.
Hire my daughter. Hire my ne'er-do-well daughter who like spends all my money.
Do that.
Are we talking about Brooke?
That's the one.
Okay, let's have.
Yeah,
We
You don't
do it this weekend.
She doesn't clean up around the house. You're not going to want her there.
but you might do really well as a server.
Yeah, done.
Hire. Perfect.
Nepotism. The questions I have for you, obviously I know a little bit more about you.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think when you were just talking about your relationships and stuff like that? What do you catch yourself doing that you might find annoying, or people might find annoying that you're dating?
Great question. I'm a worrier by nature. So I worry about things that haven't happened yet. So I have a tendency to think about, well, this could go wrong, and well, that can go wrong. And it's not that I'm not an optimist, because I really am. I am a wired optimist, but I have to kind of keep that in check. One. Number two, what I've learned from working with Linda Somer and Road to You and the survey.
Make sure that door shut. Sorry.
That's okay.
He's not shutting doors. It's like, man.
Hi.
Okay.
is that I have a tendency to be so high into like connecting with people and like wanting to, emotionally connect and wanting to make somebody else happy. It gives me a lot of joy to make my partner happy. I sometimes can lose myself in the process, and I don't look at facts. Right. So like I could see like somebody could be doing like all kinds of things. And because I'm always giving somebody the benefit of the doubt, I can get in a situation where it's like, what did I just do? And I just was totally like blindsided. That is about a past relationship, which I'm not going to get into on this podcast, but just really not paying attention to facts and too much on emotion.
I think I share that problem with you. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on my end, I'm just happy to still be kicking here, How's our relationship?
Pretty good, I think.
I mean, I wake up in the morning. What can I do to make Lupa happy?
This is so ridiculous. This is his new line.
Yeah.
He goes, I go to bed and I think, what can I do to make Lupa happy? I wake up, what can I do to make Lupa happy?
That's how I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
Especially on Mondays. And guess what? That's why we do it on Mondays. The podcast on Monday. He hates Mondays.
I hate Mondays, yeah.
Poor
It's a
Lupa.
great off day to have because everybody's at work. So you have like, if you have a restaurant you like, it's open. If you have you got to do laundry, the washer and dryers are all open. To me, it's my favorite day off.
That's good.
Yes.
He's not off.
But
Today we have a private party.
Right.
We had a server call out.
And catering this morning.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
So here's another question I have for you, Kimmy.
Yep.
What the hell was it like growing up with Scott?
So this actually bothers his kids. Scott and we just never fought.
Never fought.
We both remember one
How could you
fight.
fight with this? Better yet, how can you fight with her?
That's what I think.
We never fought. We always got along.
Never fought.
Not really. Like we both remember like one fight. Like Scott really kept to himself.
I know no one here who works here thinks that I'm laid back.
Or keeps to himself.
Yeah, I'm the most laid back person.
I don't know if he was laid back. I mean, we shared a bathroom. Like, it's not like, yeah, like we really never, ever fought.
This is all shocking.
I know. We've always been really
Is that
close.
what it was? You were just quiet?
And even though he's so laid back, like when I've had problems in my life, my car immediately goes to my brother's.
Yeah. So how about this? In high school, hey, give me a ride here. Hey, you guys
I drove him everywhere.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you were a senior when I was a freshman,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, but he had broken his foot, so he had I was able to get a handicap pass on my car. But like, here's to my brother. So like, this is the difference between me and my brother. So my brother was involved in a very serious go-karting accident where he broke like 7 metatarsals in his foot. Like he was like, we were worried he was never going to walk again, and I was devastated. So like, before he came,
this story.
I told you the story.
I've never heard this. Go on.
Really serious go-karting accident. Yeah. So when he was in the hospital, I was so upset. I was so upset. I decorated his room. I got like a card and had everything. I painted his trash can, like get well soon, put balloons in it, like the whole 9 yards. My brother came home and was like, Kat. He calls me Kat or Sister Betty. Kat, get this shit out of my room.
Real sweet. Real sweet.
So like we're just very different. And I also think like I've always been like maybe a little bit of a spotlight stealer. I've always been the one who was like a talker and he was quiet. And my brother was never like jealous or like never like try to steal.
I love that she would talk.
Yeah. Just like always like a big supporter and always easygoing. And, Scott.
What happened to me?
Yeah.
And I think like and really Scott is honest and honorable. Like my mom is very honest and honorable. Not that my dad isn't too, but like my mom and Scott are like painfully honest and honorable. Not painfully, but like, it's like so who they are.
It's painful. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean like, and my mom and my brother both also very black and white. So like you're either on Scott's team and he loves you or like, ugh. Yeah, we never.
What did your mom call me the other day? They should put my picture up around town and say I should be seen with animals or something.
I forget.
She said something so outrageous. I was like, that's an unbelievable thing to say.
I'll leave it to my mom to say something like that.
Yeah.
But yes.
That's very interesting.
Probably right, though.
Yeah. So we, like like the twin, Josh's kids, excuse me, Josh's, sorry, Scott's children, like have said, like, it's so annoying that we never fought. Cause like normal siblings fight. And so like
Right.
whenever like our kids would fight, I would say to my kids or he would say to his kids, I never fought with my brother. Like I never fought with my sister.
She would get disappointed with me. Like I've told you, I used to throw a lot of parties in high school.
Oh yeah. I didn't
How
like it.
can you do this to our parents?
Yeah. I was a baby shoes. Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
Candy, were you at college, like calling home and going, stop throwing parties?
Back then there was no cell phones. It was like
Right.
different. Like, when I forgot there was a home. I was having so much fun in college. Like it was
Right.
off the radar. But my brother, like, so when I left for college, my grandmother had died and my grandfather was basically living with us and my aunt. And so like he really didn't have a social life or anything to do. And I just remember talking to my brother, like they got him like either like puzzles or an orange juice squeezer. And Scott would just say like he would just freshly squeeze orange juice all day. And like he would go into the refrigerator and there'd be like gallons and gallons of freshly squeezed orange juice.
Squeeze orange juice.
Yeah, but like my grandfather was like a really cute guy. Like he was easy. But yeah, like I was excited when Scott ended up going to Penn State. It was like so nice to see him in his own element and like, he had the most beautiful girlfriend in the entire world, which is still his wife, Sherry.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
So yeah, I mean, like Scott and I were always like, even when our parents would if we were in trouble, we would always have each other's back.
That's really nice. So, Cammy, I know I've heard about Scott's kids. Do your kids fight like cats and dogs?
So not anymore.
Mhm.
Not anymore. I mean, they definitely annoy each other, but like when they were little, it was like so much stupid bickering. Like
Right.
we would go somewhere and like, there's an armrest like in between the seats.
Right.
Her elbow's touching my elbow. Like and they were just annoying. But they, listen, we have 4 girls between us. Like we have 4 girls, and I'm very close to my nieces, and my kids are close to my brother and my sister-in-law. And they couldn't be more different. Like each one of them are so different. Like there's not even 2 that are more similar. Like they're just 4 different girls. So there's going to be like differences, but at the end of the day, they're all, they all love each other so much. And, right now, especially with, my daughter's in college, but the 3 of them are the same age. And so like watching the 3 of them like support each other, like where they're going to college and things like that, like they're rooting for each other. And it's a really nice team. But no, they don't have the relationship that Scott and I had. None of them do.
I don't know what made me just think of this. You're not a beach person, right?
No, I am a beach person. My ex-husband was not a beach person.
Oh.
So this is back to where I'm wrong.
Because he's not a beach person.
I'm anti-beach.
So my ex-husband was anti-beach. So I think like where I'm learning is, somebody who's divorced and like, figuring it out is I get so much joy in making someone else happy that like I didn't care. Like I'm like, oh, okay, he doesn't like the beach. I don't need to go on the beach. And like I just stopped going to the beach. And there's nothing wrong with that because I don't blame him. That was me. Like I didn't want to go. I wanted to make him happy. But there is room for me to say like, oh wait, I love walks on the beach. Like I love the sound of the ocean. I love the feel of the sand on my toes. Like, and I know that some people that's like, I do. I love the beach. I just lost sight of that.
You're the biggest beach person I know.
I like the beach. I like the pool. I like anywhere where I can have a drink in my hand and be as far away from work as possible. I like when I'm at work, but I like being away.
Now, like this is where like I don't know where Scott even fits in. Just like I'm not a big drinker. Like at the most, I have like a half a glass of wine a week.
Right.
My parents have like never had a drink, but no one needs a drink more than my 2 parents. And Scott is a hearty drinker.
Right.
Yeah. But hard when you say hearty drinker, like one drink. But I like to have a drink when I get home.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's just like.
I'm around drinkers all day.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
and
everyone,
painful.
Everyone wants to drink with me. Everyone usually like, oh, have a drink with me. I'm like, no, I don't drink at work. And then I go home. I can barely take off my outfit before I make myself a drink.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not a big drinker.
I don't even drink it, but I'm just like sitting on the couch.
The relaxation of like
this. Yeah. Last night I made myself a drink, watched an episode of Ted Lasso.
Ugh, best show.
And I didn't even drink it.
I just watched Blackberry last night about the story about Blackberry. It
Oh
was
yeah, what is that?
it was so like awesome. I don't know if maybe I had one too many drinks. I was really getting too into it, but I was like, I loved it. I thought
Yeah,
it
I love
was
a
fantastic.
good documentary.
So, Ken, going back to you,
Yes.
because I'm done with BlackBerry until I see it. If you were to move anywhere, where would
Oh,
where
I
would
like
it be?
this one.
Well, first let me say that I'm contemplating this now because I'm going to be an empty nester, right? So I have been thinking about it. I love our area. Like I love Philadelphia people. Sorry, fluke, but I do. And I
Mhm.
think like this area has so many treasures. I like the seasons. Like there's plenty of beautiful places to walk and great dining. And there's just like a community here that I love. That being said, like I think there's a natural desire to go to Florida because it's not far. I just haven't found the Florida that I like. I don't love like everything looks like a plaza. Everything looks the same. You take Palmetto and you make a right on Spanish River, and like that's like it's like all like whatever it is, like that area. It's like very flat. I bet you there's parts of Florida that I would love. We have a lot of family in Florida. Our parents are in Florida right now, so like I love that aspect. Maybe Florida, but my daughter is going to Austin. So for college, like maybe I like Austin. When I was in Denver and Boulder, I thought that was so beautiful. I'm not a skier. But places to live, like, I don't know, because I imagine I'm going to be moving soon.
Okay, so yeah, I know Lupa went to St. Petersburg, Florida, about a year ago. He loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Florida. I mean, Boca and all that. Right? You were at St. Petersburg.
Yeah, I loved it.
Loved it.
Loved
What'd you like about it?
it. Felt like New Orleans 10 years ago.
Ooh.
There was live music on every street corner, and it was just like you could see the bay. It wasn't a beach town; it was like a fishing town, which I like a lot more.
Yeah.
Close to the water, live music everywhere, great bars. Yeah, it felt really, really fun.
Well, I also, it's on that same kind of vibe. There's a place in Maine called Algonquin. It's a
Mhm.
tiny little town, and like they have a manual drawbridge that's like, like Frank, raise the bridge.
Right.
Like somebody
Right.
goes and raises the drawbridge. Like I thought it was the most charming, adorable town. But it's never lost on me how beautiful this area is either.
Yeah. How about you? Where do you go?
Honestly, I'm in Philly.
That's it.
No, I'm sure if we're moving anywhere, it'll be Arizona.
Arizona. Yeah.
But if the kids are all like living, I don't know, wherever they live, say they're living California or Wisconsin, I don't care. If they're both living in the same state, I'm going to move out there.
Right.
Yeah,
Or at
I mean,
least
where
get a-
Scott and I are so blessed and lucky, and my parents, we have a very small family, but a tight family, and everyone's local. So it's like my brother's 10 minutes one direction. My parents are 10 minutes the other direction. We're very close with our cousin who's like 5 seconds away from Scott. Like we're very lucky to have
Yeah,
families.
we would have to move wherever he's moving to because he's like our doctor too.
And I'm very close to his mom, my Aunt Barbara, who's like, 5 minutes of it. Like I think like we're very blessed to have family, and I don't know if I'll be as lucky someday having my kids live so close and being close. Like I think like as a parent, like our parents must have such joy that we're so close and that our kids are close and that we have, such a connection, but some of that's through location. Now that being said, I'm also extremely close to my ex-husband's family. So I see like, and they don't live as local, and we talk every day and see each other all the time. So I get like you can have family that lives elsewhere and still have that connection, but it is nice to be close.
We should get them on the podcast, by the way. They'd be pretty funny.
It is pretty bizarre that the closest people, like besides my family, are my ex-husband's family.
That is very interesting.
It is.
They're fun to hang out with.
They are.
They're really fun to hang out with. They're wonderful.
All right. Anything else for Cammie? I think we have to talk about
We
this.
have to talk about this.
This is
Are we going? Are we changing into a different podcast? Or are we going to go?
No, we're gonna double this one up.
yes.
This is going to be on our menu at the Rap Shack and Maria. It is a pretzel.
So let me ask you.
This is a
So just
pretzel.
from that pretzel, I don't see the salt. Where is the salt? Because I like a salty pretzel.
We're gonna have to be honest. So we did a little movie magic here. This pretzel is actually not cooked all the way.
Not cooked yet.
Yes.
Okay.
And you caught us, but we just want to
Yes.
bring it to our attention.
It will definitely have salt on it in house.
It'll be salted. It'll be warm. It will come with a
It's a
cheese
really
sauce.
nice cheesy, like
Yeah,
beer cheese type
and
sauce.
I might do like a garlic butter too on the side.
What about the
Like,
cinnamon sugar?
what'd you say?
Cinnamon sugar.
Ooh, I like a little
shit.
sugary one.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
that
I
would
would
be-
want. Is like
yeah,
cinnamon sugar.
yeah. I
That's like
that idea.
Annie Ann's. You know,
Mhm.
my wife loves Annie Ann's. If we go to the mall, if they don't have the
Auntie
sample,
Anne's?
yeah, Annie
She loves Annie Ann's?
yeah,
I do too. So does my dad.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, this is gonna blow it out of the water. This
Yes,
pretzel's
this is
gonna
way
be
better
amazing.
than that.
As
Yes.
as Lupa likes to say, and we might have to edit this, but blow your dick off.
Correct.
Why
When
do we say
something's
blow your
really-
mind? We'll say blow your mind.
when something's very,
Yeah, but
very
it's not authentic. That's what all he says
Correct.
all the time.
yes.
Our mother in the pretzel.
That's
Yes.
what you guys have to talk about because it's unbelievable. I mean, I hear about it through
Okay.
through their
And no one would believe how much we've talked about this stand. This is
I
like
know.
the fifth
I know.
stand we've gone to.
Okay.
I think
Let,
this is the
let,
winner.
let me
Yeah.
let me take this one for a second. And
Oh,
Scott,
yeah, I can't wait
Okay.
for this.
So you have to understand my mother, right? My mom, our mom, all she wants to do is help her children. She lives for her children and her grandchildren. So if she like for her, I don't know how the pretzel thing came out. My guess is she and daddy went out to dinner and they saw a pretzel and they liked it and they
The exact
Yes.
thing.
okay. So that's what so then all of a sudden my mom will like go into warrior mode about pretzels, the history of the pretzel recipes, how to hang it, what to do. I've gotten calls about said pretzel. Okay. I have gotten calls about the stand. I have heard a lot about the pretzel. Her heart and her mind is really just all about wanting to be helpful. I hope, Mom, if you're hearing this, just walk away for 1 second, just like a tiny little bit. Just take a break. It's a lot to talk about the pretzel. It's a lot to talk about the pretzel, but she's trying.
I
And
thought it was just going to pop on the menu and we were done with it.
Yeah.
It has not. been
No,
that.
this
No.
is like
We've been through literally 5 iterations of stands.
yeah, I mean, she gets on these kicks.
I don't know if you guys know, they're all metal hooks,
Yeah,
just
they're
different,
no hooks, but
just different variations.
yeah.
It's
This one's good though. This one's like stable.
it's very
Listen,
safe.
my
Like a big-
mom, you give her a job, it is going to be the greatest. Like she will find the greatest pretzel stand that has ever lived.
What was her thing at 18th Street? The candles.
The
Oh,
candles,
yeah, candles in the bathroom.
candles.
You remember
right?
that? Oh my
Yes.
god, that was like
Candles ever, and then we had to discontinue putting candles because people would take the candles from the bathroom
right.
and dump the wax in the toilet,
Ah.
Or spill it or break it.
or
Yeah, it was always a
or-
mess.
go to the bathroom in the candles. It was
Yes.
Right. So like, so she just wants to be helpful. And if you're going to give her a project, know that it's going to be done to the world's
Oh, it
highest
was. She would
level.
bring boxes and boxes and boxes of candles.
she still has.
I had them at my house, the candles, the candles,
Yeah.
the candles, the candles.
I remember it was a big like deal. Like Mrs. Hawkfield's outside, go grab the candles. Yeah.
But
Now,
it's
would you-
whatever it is. Like my daughter like was obsessed with the movie Wreck-It Ralph.
Uh-huh.
And I forget what the girl's name was, just Penelope. I think her name was Penelope, but I'm not sure. Like there's no costume, Penelope, like there was nothing about her that you could be her.
Right.
And we gave that to my mom. Like, Mom, this is what my mom put together such an outfit that mimicked this caricature,
That's
like this character. She's just, like I get it. I got maybe 700 calls about Penelope and what she would have in her hair and all that stuff.
Right.
But she is certainly like, if you want a job done to perfection, you ask my mother.
Love it.
Would you get this pretzel?
I want it now. If I was there, I'd want it now.
Good. If it's salted
That's
and
good.
warm,
I want
no,
it
you
salted,
have sugar.
warm,
yeah,
I
the
want
sweet
it
sugar. So I like it.
Do you still want your pretzel to be salty, even if you're dipping it in cinnamon sugar?
The salt and the sweet is kind of what makes it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want it to be as salty if I was dipping it in mustard. Like if I was dipping it in mustard, then I would
Mm-hmm.
want it more salty. But I do like a little salty sweet.
I feel like I'm talking to a pretzel expert. To me, they're all kind of just pretzels.
No.
Oh my God. So here's the thing about pretzels. Like that pretzel is amazing. But I'm going to say something
I tried it.
really controversial. I'm going to say something very controversial. All right, ready? I love pretzels.
Mhm.
Love a soft pretzel. I like Wawa soft pretzels.
So do I.
No, they're not bad.
Ew, okay,
Right,
not everybody feels
right.
that way.
Yeah.
I love a Wawa soft pretzel. I think
They're
like like that the middle is their middle is really good. My daughter and I both think
Doughy. No, the middle's doughy.
I like it doughy. I like the doughy middle, and it's believe it or not, for some reason it tastes better in a package of two.
Yes,
And
the middle part is is the best part. I'll agree with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, this is why we get along. We agree.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
same taste buds.
Yeah, I do. Not, and like my father-in-law, my father-in-law and my sister-in-law like a Wawa pretzel, but like they would definitely prefer that Philadelphia, like genuine, like in the paper bag,
I
that.
like, you know what I like is like those fancy, real dark pretzel like chips. Have you ever seen those? The extra crispy.
Oh yeah, those are delicious.
Those are awesome.
I
By
just
the
to
way, I
make
just bought you a donut. Do you like the donut?
He bought me a jelly donut, which I hate jelly donuts, but it was a
a
delicious
jelly donut.
Yeah.
He's the weirdest guy.
I wouldn't want a jelly donut.
Let me tell you what your brother does. This has always bothered me, so it has to come out now. Gets a dozen donuts. Let me tell you exactly what he's going to get: 4 chocolate, 4 glaze.
Different.
No.
Not four glaze.
Yes, you get
Four
way too
powder.
many glaze.
Four powder. Four powder.
No.
Yeah,
No
just the
powder.
most
No
basic,
powder.
the most basic donut
No
order you've
powder.
ever seen in your life.
No powder.
I go in there. I go, give me one of those, one of those, one of those, one of those. I like a little variety in life.
Varietals.
Varietals of donuts are important. And this guy, too many glaze, too many chocolate. It's all the same thing.
By the way, that's a lot.
It's true.
Where'd you get the donut from?
Bueller's in Reading Terminal.
The best donuts in the world.
Really? Well,
Like,
I'm going to give a plug out to my friend, Glazed and Confused in the Syracuse area.
I told him, yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta get
The most incredible donuts. Like he has amazing kinds of donuts. Like there's Heath Bar. I mean, just like unbelievable. If you have a reason to go to Syracuse, the Syracuse area, look up Glazed and Confused. There's shout out. It's really delicious donuts. I love a good donut. I love a good donut.
What a thing to jump into and just go, I'm going to give it all up and make donuts.
sounds. Well, you have to wake up really early.
Yeah, like
I'm not a
3
morning person.
Yeah, Paul wakes up at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't do that game.
Yeah.
Unless it was called like Midnight Donut and like open from like 12 to like 2.
Maybe there
Well, the
is
first time I had like a warm donut as a dessert was at Budokan. They had these like warm donuts with different dipping sauces. And I thought that was always like one of my favorite desserts.
Right.
Well, they also have that at Bar Luca, the Intelligent.
I like Barluca. But that didn't, you were like, this is the best dessert I've ever eaten.
No, I never said that.
Yeah, that's what you said. That's what you said. You said it's one of your top 3 desserts.
Well, Saturday night, I went to Stephen Cookies down the shore in Margate. Shout out to Stephen Cookies. And I had their peanut butter pie. There's just, it is so good. It is so excellent. What's your favorite dessert at Maria?
The chefs are going to kill me for saying this, but I got to say it. We do fried Oreos really well. And I know it sounds dumb.
Sometimes the most basic.
Like really nice.
They're really big. It's like when I think of like you just said Budokan having donuts, like to me that doesn't match. Sometimes to me it's like, should Maria have fried Oreos? But they are amazing.
They're good. I like the cookie cake too. We do the homemade cookie cake with ice cream on top with chocolate sauce.
I'll tell you what I think is an underrated dessert are like boxed Pillsbury cakes. Like if you get the box mix and like have like
no, 100%. No,
like,
you can make one delicious.
Delicious. Like the Pillsbury makes a good box cake.
They do. They're delicious.
Listen, my favorite cake is Entenmann's chocolate cake. Love it. The icing, everything.
So here, I'll tell you a story about my mom and my beautiful sister-in-law, Sherry. And this is a story about relationships, mother-daughter-in-law relationships, mother-son relationships, husband-wife relationships. So my mom loves her son. She loves her son. And as a parent, you sometimes see them as the child that they once were. Right. So this is like 10 years ago. I had a birthday for my brother. I had people coming over for my house for his birthday. And my mother looked furious, absolutely furious. So I pulled her into my bedroom and I said, Mom, what's wrong? And she said, Tammy, your sister-in-law got him a cookie cake.
That's right.
So I said, and she said he doesn't like cookie cake. She got cookie cake because she just went into the supermarket and got a cookie cake. So I was like, Mom, back off.
Right.
First of all, cookie cakes are delicious.
Hey, that far either.
That's a stretch.
That's a stretch.
Well, and so they were, but at the time, so I backed my mom off. But so Sherry comes out and sings like happy birthday in this cookie cake to my brother. And my brother was like, woohoo, cookie cake.
That was loud.
That was loud.
But listen, my mom and my aunt, my sister-in-law love each other so much. But the humor in that is that my mother, a mommy's love for her son is so different. I only have daughters, so I don't know. Like, even like, I am such a good daughter. My parents, when they're away, I pick up their mail. I make sure their trash is okay. I'm at their house.
You make me look bad.
Like, I was once sick, and my brother went to like do one thing at the house, and my mom was like, in his busy day, he came all the way to the house and checked on the house. I'm like, I have two jobs. I'm a single mother. Like, really? Like,
Yeah.
a mother and a son. It is just ridiculous.
But smart. I played the, I'm busy, this and that, and then
I will say
I do
this.
something, and it's the greatest thing ever.
Mrs. Hawkfield always picks up the phone when we call you. It was the
Yeah.
stupidest of questions. What was the last one? Whose handwriting was that? She was a handwriting expert.
Yeah. She didn't know.
She kind of thought it was yours.
Wait, who? No, she didn't.
Yeah, she
Whose
did.
was it?
It was Eve's.
It was Eve.
Yeah.
Oh,
We were blaming each other for writing this stupid thing on this keychain.
well, I don't know. But yes, mothers and daughters, but thank God we have such a close family and everybody gets along. But there's always bumps along the way. And the cookie cake was a scandal.
That sounds scandalous.
So believe it or not, we might be serving tonight, and bartending and everything like that.
Yes.
It was fun interviewing you.
I feel like we didn't do a good job because when you interview people, it's like the stream of consciousness is much better. I think that's why you're in your chair and we're in ours.
Well,
Yes.
I feel like you guys asked me some good questions. I hope I answered them honestly. And, at the end of the day, I like my own chair. And I
What's
like,
your favorite TV show that you
Oh,
ever
I'm
watched?
excited for this
Yeah.
one.
for which one?
What's your favorite TV show ever?
God, I don't know. I mean, like, I love Ted Lasso. I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love The Bear. If you're talking about ever, if you grew up in the 90s, I was in a sorority where this is pre like streaming, where we would all sit on the floor of our sorority and watch 90210. And it was the most fun ever. So like, I have a soft spot for 90210 for that reason. It just reminds me of the 90s and things like that. I think TV is amazing today, right? Like,
Every show is like a TV to watch. Yeah.
it's so good. Like, I hear like, there's just so many good, and as you said, like, I want so many good documentaries, but I think like there was a sweetness in Ted Lasso that just, especially at a time where people are so angry and hateful, there was such a sweetness in that show that just put me in a good mood.
I don't like it. It's just never going to happen. That story's never going to happen.
Oh, it's so darling.
As a bad football coach, he sucked as a soccer coach. I hate this story. That's just a
You know
feel-good story. It's all about
You know
feel-good.
what?
The whole goddamn thing.
However,
Everybody starts the fucking show.
I love
feel-good show.
You know what? He's already wrong, and it relates to Philadelphia. Ready for this one? He said no one would do that, where they hire a coach, want them to lose. That happened in Philadelphia. Sam Hinkie
Hired a coach and wanted to lose. Did you hire a baseball coach to coach your football team?
he never coached.
And she was a woman scorned. A woman scorned.
It's just trash. I hate the whole
If you guys want to see a sweet show, I
Yes.
try to watch, doing like coaching and matchmaking. I try to watch dating shows just to see,
Dating on the spectrum is what you're about to say.
Love on the Spectrum. It is the sweetest show.
Yeah.
And I am in love with all the people on the show and the parents. It is a beautiful show.
We could do one here called Working on the Spectrum, and I don't know who's on what spectrum.
All right, so we wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Everybody enjoy a pretzel.
Yes,
We
come
are.
down. Come down and get a pretzel. We are at Maria. Please like, follow, subscribe. Watch us live on YouTube.
And we're very excited. YouTube, X,
Whatever. All of them.
Facebook.
Yep.
Like us on YouTube. I watch us on YouTube. I say it all the time. And we are excited that we're going to announce our new sponsor pretty soon as well.
Woohoo!
We're pretty excited about it. Ken, you're going to have a lot more interviews to do.
Yep. You can find me, Cami Verney, at Road to You. And it was really nice being interviewed. I hope that an eater pretzel.
Yes.
Delicious.
Pretzels for everyone.
Pretzels for
Yep.
everybody.
All right. And enjoy going to Rap Shack and Maria. It's like the weather's starting to like heat up a little bit. It's nice to be out.
It was a nice day today.
Yeah.
Honey?
Bartending
Wow. What's your favorite drink to make?
a beer.
Yeah, mine too.
Nice and easy.
Yeah,
Nice and easy.
pour a shot.
A shot. I could do that.
All right. Or is this one podcast or two? We're breaking this up into
It's
two.
pretty long, so I think we're going. We're going to split this up.
Okay.
Why not?
Why not?
And we talked about the pretzel the whole time, so this is double podcast of pretzel.
I don't want this to go be recorded, but this pretzel thing is crazy.
I know.
It is crazy.
Yes.
Was my dad just calling about the pretzel?
He's asked about it.
Yeah.
I heard him on the phone asking.
I've talked about the pretzel.
I mean, all I do is talk about pretzel.
But it's just a pretzel.
You know, we're gonna owe our turnaround quarter,
Right.
The best quarter ever.
That's what I'm afraid
to
of.
the pretzel.
If you make $1 off this, it's over.
Listen,
We did pretzel bombs before. Those were
Yeah, those were fun. Now,
you never know. I love a good pretzel. So is it going to be warm when it comes out?
Of course, it's gonna be. I don't know if I like that.
right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't touch the
We're gonna play around with it.
pretzels for
Yeah.
everybody. All righty,
All right.
people. Have a wonderful
We
day.
are signing off.
Signing
Come to
off.
110
guys.
South 11th Street, 112 South 11th Street.
Rap Shack,
Right in the Rap Shack.
Cammy, John, and Scott.
Yes.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Thanks everyone for joining us today for Organized Mayhem Podcast. Check us out on YouTube, X, our website, rapshackpa.com, and wayofphilly.com for updates. Once again, welcome to the Mayhem.